I do feel better. I was crying out earlier. I guess I'm acclimated to it to some extent. Little arcing fingers of electrons. It's kind of interesting. I do feel a little bit like I did at 19 before all this nonsense. 19 was my best year in life. I was working as a dishwasher and prep cook in Marche restaurant right when it opened. And I was teaching karate once a week. Eugene School of Karate, Shudokan Karate, and learning some other, some Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and I don't know, captured a lot of attention. They had plans for me, so, That's how it goes, You gotta sleep in a Faraday cage. You gotta have all kinds of shielding. You don't want to be manipulated. You gotta have you gotta be able to carry forth with, some grand plans and not get, not have the fucking vampires suck your life away. You got to keep a gun on you at all times. Get a concealed carry permit. A small pistol is great. Like a Ruger LCR and .22 long rifle. Something like that. Other than that, like a compact 9mm, like a Glock 43. Those are my recommendations. Now the Glock 43, its trigger needs to be improved. Various aftermarket parts for that. Look into it, friends. Destroying my footage again. Oh, they're snatching it up and deleting it. Fascinating. Never ends. This fucking phone. I've been shocking myself in the head with my stun gun directly. Not using a little magnetic wire coil to generate a little EMP, which hasn't proved, I don't know that it's proved strong enough. Seems to help. It hurts, though. Really hurts. 30,000 volt stun gun. I'll show you the model. I don't recommend you do that. And you could they could have installed some kind of kill switch. That little charge could initiate the little explosion. Well, they frequently hack my phone. I've showed footage of that. All kinds of anomalies, Turns out I still have all that stuff. Anyway, Jesus, Kate. Anyway. Yes, this is a place where this happens, I guess, you know, if I don't go back in there, I mean, you know, into that place towards the heart of town, it'll look as though that's a place where that happens, you know. So you guys are not calculating that out. That's interesting. Fascinating. It's like a war game. Yeah. You know, in the 1970s, there was this Surgeon General type of physician in the UK, a highly respected man in the medical community, like a top guy, and he reviewed all these studies, and he said, you know, he came to the conclusion that there was no medical benefit to circumcision. So he issued a statement, and then it changed the policy as far as what's insured, you know, procedures which are insured, and they're no longer going to insure that surgical procedure. So people stopped doing it. People didn't want to pay for it, so the rates really declined, you know, in the UK, and so, you know, so that's why, I mean, that's part of the conspiracy, you know, that so shaped my life, you know. You know, I related this experience, you know, of being situated inside someone else's body. I talked briefly how this was facilitated, you know, and I've said time and time again that the technology that these breakaway secret societies, you know, these you know, these intelligence agencies and all that, you know, these cults, you know, who consider themselves, you know, highly superior to you, you know, they have just astounding stuff, you know. And so I talked about that, and you know, but the vast majority of you are such simpletons that, you know, as being some kind of fantasy, you know, as being some form of wish fulfillment, you know. There's no movie that describes, there's no movie, I checked. There's no movie, there's no book, you know, I don't know. A lot of books been written, but I couldn't find anything. They said the bald-headed man with the gray handlebar mustache, he said I was going to be the next Bruce Lee, but that's after I joined the Marine Corps and all this stuff, and you know, that's after I'm, you know, right, and then out in the parking lot, I was helping them pack up this machine into the back of this van. I was gathering up the extension cord, one of the extension cords, real thick, you know, cable, like a 240 volts cable, and like I didn't even know how to do the you know, that rope wrap technique thing, you know, you use for climbing ropes and all that, and you know, extension cords, and they taught me, you know, some kid, you know, some like 15-year-old kid taught me how to do that, you know. I didn't know who, you know, Bruce Lee was. You know, I later asked my older brother who Bruce Lee was, and said, "Oh, you didn't know who Bruce Lee is." I guess, you know, we could watch one of his movies sometime. You know, sometimes on late at night. You know, Not that we watch much TV. My family was really restrictive that way. But yeah, the vast majority of you, you'll think it's just a fantasy, won't you? You'll think, oh, you're just gay or transgender. I mean, this is how fucking moronic you people are. I mean, anyway, in the parking lot, this woman, she said, well, you don't think it's right the way transgender people are treated, So you'll be helping to, confer, some respect, because the roles you'll be playing. I mean, there'll be roles for transgender people. They're not, and I said, well, no, I don't think it's right, to treat transgender people that way, because it's people like you who seem to be creating them. And then she said, that's not how it works. So I don't know. I have a very skewed sense of things, don't I? Obviously. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think so much of it is just, an excess of sexual competition. That's what I think. You people being overly particular about everything and everyone, and thinking you fully understand somebody, but you don't. You know what I love about you, Dania, is that I don't think I ever saw you wear makeup. I was just thinking just now. I mean, what sort of colors, I would look good, on you, and well, kind of like to dress you up sometime, I've got this vague memory of this pre-vision event, where we go out to dinner, and it's really nice, and it's just looking at you in the candlelight. It's a really, really nice thing. So it's funny, when I don't watch too many movies with erotic scenes, in them. I happen to be watching this Spanish flick recently on Netflix, and there was this scene involving a man and a woman, and they're in this cove. They went down to swim. And it's funny, well, like certain imagery, just triggers the memory of like a sensation, and there are like these attendant feelings, and it is interesting that I tend to experience, that kind of thing. It's just strange what how this memory of having like a convex lower equipment arises from just simply watching that kind of thing. It's very strange, But that only happens, if I haven't, had much exposure to women, and It's just strange that you know, that arises, you know. You know, I have a great desire to, you know, to connect with the opposite sex, and you know, it's a shame, you know, that there's so many injunctions and that are completely irrational, you know, that make me feel like a vain fraud, you know, they make me feel like I'm some kind of a con man, you know. It's just, there are people, you know, who take pleasure in utterly screwing up your life, you know, your entire life, and causing you pain, immense pain, you know, stretching out, you know, decades. You know, that's really, there are people like that. I don't understand that level of viciousness. I just don't understand it. You know, I don't get it. I don't get it. The world's an enormously complex place, and you can't just pigeonhole, you know, everybody, and you can't make all these assumptions and arrive at a swift judgment, you know. But that was the culture that I grew up in, you know, in the mid '80s. You know, that's what was going on with this supposed threat of nuclear war and nuclear winter, and you know, that kind of thing. So. And we're at the, you know, we're nearing the point where we're going to be beyond that kind of mentality, you know, and it is a truly evil mentality. You know, I do know that I have value, you know, to the opposite sex. I do know objectively that is the case, and you know, a tiny little bit of faith extended my way, you know, really helps, you know, me gain anchorage, you know, and feel that way, you know, and I really reciprocate, you know, and yeah, I just like that opportunity, you know. I think what I need is just somebody, you know, just a woman who is, you know, maybe once or twice, you know, willing to be kind of, I don't know, wanting to be able to be sexually aggressive with me, just, you know, once or twice, and then I would always have that memory, you know, and I would love you forever, you know, and that's just, you know, just somebody who responds, you know, what they've tried to do with me. They've sent these, yeah, a couple of times anyway. They sent these mind controlled slaves, you know, these poor girls, you know, who were not reciprocal at all, you know, and you know, it was you know, I'm not some kind of Casanova. I'm not some kind of